Today is the 1st of June and we are back on the allotment for the first time in, I think, over a week. We have Maya, we have roses, and we have our corn patch, which is starting to come along nicely. Today I've been planting in the squashes, so these are Marina di Chioggia, butchering that. It's an Italian squash variety. Which is a winter squash. I think the skin's kind of blue. Can't remember what colour the flesh is, but looks quite nice. Over here we've got a yellow courgette. This is quite experimental. We've got a tiny little cantaloupe melon, which is supposed to make tiny little cantaloupe melons, which I think you're supposed to grow them undercover, but might actually work because they're so small outside here, so we'll see. We've got Gigantes runner beans. Very excited to actually grow enough to cook some this year. This is an edible lupin, got that from real seeds. Excited to see how that is. So it's a variety which is low enough in the toxins that are usually in lupins that shouldn't need to leach it or anything. You can just cook with it straight off. Probably going to harvest some lettuce today because, well, they've started going crazy. As you can see, all of the cress and other brassicas which I had as cover crop, well, most of them I've chopped back because they were going heavily to seed. So I've left some up to keep flowering, but most of them are just going to carry on. Yeah, most of them I've just hacked back. The flax is looking good here, and you can actually see it's about to start flowering there. Our neighbour on the next allotment over gave us some idea because I've got these chrysanthemum greens here, which are Asian green for stir fries, but we've had these cropping up among them. I noticed that they were growing some on the next plot, so finally got that ID. That's a cosmos, so should be some nice flowers there. Coming back over here, I forgot, more exciting news. Where are we? Here goes that. You can see the wine cap spawn is actually starting to run. You can see the white mycelium there. So that is actually colonising. So that's very good news. I think the American groundnut in here, wherever it was, somewhere around here. Oh, actually no, I thought it had been killed off, but that is actually it with this leaf here. I'm very relieved that that's still there. Came back and just could not find it. Big job for today, bless you, has been clearing this bed. So that was mostly just peeling it back. We've got a load of seed potatoes that have just been lying around waiting for something to do. So I've whacked them in here. We'll see if that actually works because that is south and that hedge is probably 4 or 5 meters high at its highest above here, and it does actually lean over quite a way. So yeah, we took on the plot after the cutting season for hedges ended. So I don't know if you could hear the bird there, but that was nice. That's why we can't cut it. There's stuff that will be nesting. Other stuff I've got in here, there's some Claytonia miner's lettuce, which is called Claytonia perfoliata because perfoliata means it goes through the leaf. See, the flower head comes up through the middle of this leaf. It's very fun. It's a nice little, usually winter salad leaf. But so I've got some other stuff here. 9-star perennial broccoli. Got that from Dovey Plants, which is a new one here in Wales. Yeah, it makes lots of little sort of cauliflower type heads. Carries on for 3-4 years or so. Apparently it used to be much better than it tends to be these days, but well, give it a go. Bit of a risk having it out here, but then the perennial kale that what's a variegated Daubent's one that I've got under here, I think has been eaten to an inch of its life by slugs, so you know, plenty of different pests to deal with. Got a musk mallow here, it's an edible perennial mallow, should make some nice pink flowers as well. It's related to okra, so the leaves have that sort of mucilaginous quality. This is a kalet or flower sprout plant that my sister gave me. Got a couple of these. Not something that I tend to go for because I don't really do the hybrids so much, because I like to save seed, and that's a hybrid cross between kale and Brussels sprouts, but they are very nice. We've sort of given up on actually clearing this bed for the year, so I've whacked in, there's another winter squash there, another kale plant there, that's just there because I couldn't find anywhere else to put it, and a courgette here which looks very hungry, so chuck that in on top of some organic feed. Stuck another edible lupin in there, which is just coming up. See how that goes. All around in the corn patch back there and a bit there, I put in some grain amaranth, which is related to quinoa. But yeah, I quite like the plant as it looks and makes a nice teeny tiny grain. Also got the, notice the ochre here. I've got mixed types, so it's a tuberous relative of wood sorrel, and I've got a mix of colours, not really sure how many, but they tend to form differently. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and as you can see, that one is tiny, that one is doing alright, that one's doing alright, and that one's tiny. So it'll be interesting to see which ones are which when it comes to digging them up, and then probably send the ones that don't do well for me here on to somebody else, see if they work for them. Finally got my hands on some Boggle 14 comfrey, which is the one that doesn't set seed. So having that there, just because this is a sort of sectioned off patch. But yeah, put in more Gigantes beans in the corners around the mashua, hoping they don't choke each other out, but I'm sure, I mean, the mashua's got tubers feeding it, so it'll be fine. These gigantes, unlike the one in the TP structure there, are from seed this year, so not likely to be quite as vigorous. Peas have actually climbed up alright without me putting in more trellising like I was planning, so that's okay. These beans are Cos Violet French beans, seed that my sister saved. I think she's got it self-seeding in her garden at the moment. And I've got Nasturian tree cabbage here. Again, a bit of a risk having it out in the open, but this is like the perennial kales, except cabbage flavoured leaves. Shorter lived, like often only 3 years or so, so gotta make sure I'm on getting cuttings of it. But yeah, I put that one here because I have higher hopes for it in actually how I'm going to use it than the 9-star perennial broccoli, so this will provide some protection for it, and that should hopefully be better. Does mean I'm probably going to have to move this trellising structure to another location after this season. Big hackback here. This bed frankly needs a lot of weeding, but that's a lesson. I leaned too hard into a cover crop that didn't quite work, so oh well. I've got another courgette here. Again, not an ideal place because big hedge, so quite shady. Also the trees here, so doesn't really get that much sun, but it was a space. Again here we've got a wine cap bed that I was setting up, and this bit looks like it's doing quite well. That's become just pretty solid mat there. Bits that weren't covered like that are looking less happy because it's just, I think the straw's gotten a bit too soggy. Plugged in a nasturtium here. Cannot remember where I put the other one for the life of me. Put in 2 today. Fennel. Put in some fennel here. Also here. So that's the leaf and seed one, not the bulbs. Oh yeah, and when I was planting courgette there, I found this. That's a bird skull. Found it because it was surrounded by flies, so put it on that slab so that it can bake a bit and hopefully clean itself off and can save the skull, because I've got a bird skull at home and it's pretty cool. And then last thing I've got here is a patient stock, which is a dock species which has traditionally been used as a pot herb, which, yeah, interesting to see how it tastes. So yeah, it's all looking good. This apple tree is, bless me, absolutely laden. Pear tree's less laden but still looking good. This apple tree is also going well. That one's looking very sad. And yeah, that leek is just about ready to pop. Okay, bye.